Hello everybody, here we go again. Sunday Adelaja here, and we continue the topic for this week. So welcome everyone. Who do we welcome first? Lola Shorunke, how is California? You're the first one today. Welcome. Alewu Okwa, God bless. Welcome. Justin Manyo, welcome on board. Ludovic, welcome. Rochelle White, how is New Zealand? Andrew Shegun, Mashu Esong, Damilare, Bola Duro, David Otori, Ola Martin, Femi Ige, Nosa Fero, Shimaife, Prince Paul, Kazim Ahmed, Emmanuel Paul Eric, Ufuoma, Ragu, Feli, Nkem, Edma, Adedeji, Jake Oki, Ronke, Oyetayo, Alain Paradise, Makarit, Adedeji Kola, Amedoze, Ahmed, David Otori. You sent me a message, I did not reply. I can't remember, you have to send it again. Make sure you are writing to the right email. My email is pastor@godembassy.org. pastor@godembassy.org. I reply all my letters. Sebastian James, Iziegbe is here. Richmond, Liam, Winifred, Lino, Layo Charles is here. Oluwatoyin is here. Best Louis is here. Akim Latifu, I was thinking about you the other day, yesterday, praying for you and thinking about you. Welcome back. How is your football career? Abikosh, Meme Blessing. Abikosh is praying for me. She said, I pray that God will give you pleasant surprises this week in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Samuel Kalu, Venesius Mukwai. Wow. Well, you guys, let's start. You are already here. Let's go look for our share button. We keep on talking about calling this week. Go look for your share button and let's go. Let's get ready to go. Go share the link, and once you do, we are going to start again this morning. This morning is going to be marvelous. I am trying to introduce some practical aspect to this teaching on the calling. When you find my book, Who Am I and Why Am I Here, you discover that apart from talking about how to discover your calling, we are also teaching you, that book, you will also read things that hamper your calling. One of the things that hamper your calling that we discussed the other day, yesterday, with the help of Pastor Success testimony, is that Success came forward to tell us the story about how inferiority complex almost made him to lose his calling. And inferiority complex will always make you a man-pleaser. Inferiority complex will make you to lose your calling because you will not be able to pursue what you want. You will be pursuing what others want. You want to please other people. That's what inferiority complex does. So inferiority complex will cause you to miss your calling. But today I want to talk about other things that our environment, how our environment and the world we find ourselves in could make us to lose our calling. So this message today is also another practical story, another practical narrative of the life of a real human being, of a real person, of how he almost lost his direction in life, how he almost missed his calling just because of the surrounding that he found himself. And this is going to be very helpful, especially to parents, to young people, to youth, this message today, because I have, like in Ukraine here, we have maybe, if we have, let's say 1,000 Nigerians in Ukraine, 90% of them are medical students. So I got another medical student today that is going to tell us his own story, how he almost missed his calling. He's in medical school, he's a medical student, but that's not his calling. That's not his calling. Just like success, he's in medical school, he's doing well, studying well, but that's not his calling. How many of us today are pursuing what is not our calling? There are so many. We are going the wrong direction of our destiny. And let me introduce to you today Anu OJO.
Hello.
How are you, Anu?
I'm doing excellent.
Please, could you introduce yourself?
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is OJO Anuluapo, and people know me as Anu OJO. I am a final year student in Danilo Aliski Medical University. So I'm also part of the 90% of the Nigerians in Ukraine studying medicine. And I'm also a pastor in Zoe New Church, Lviv. And I'm so grateful to Pastor for this wonderful opportunity given to me to share my story and my testimony to everyone out there. And I believe you're going to be blessed, and I believe this will chart the course of your life and change your perspective as to what you're doing. And if you're also in school, I believe this section would help you discover your calling, because this also happened to me, and I'm going to share my real life testimony with you. Thank you so much, Pastor.
Yeah, so how did you get yourself into medical school? How come you are in a medical school? How come you are reading medicine in the Ukraine?
In the Ukraine.
And what's your background? Maybe you want to tell us from that.
Okay.
Anything you feel like.
Okay, thank you so much, Pastor. So I'm a Nigerian, and I'm proudly Nigerian, and I'm also from Ekiti State. And my dad is an engineer. His name is Mr. Oluwafermi Ojo, and my mom also is a nurse, and her name is Mrs. Abimbola Grace Ojo. And I really want to celebrate them, because my parents are I don't know what word to use, but I really appreciate them, and I want to use the opportunity to appreciate them, because they could spend their last dime to make sure that they give us quality education. And if my dad is watching or my mom is watching today, I want to use this opportunity to appreciate you. Thank you for your investment in our lives. Amen. So let me continue to discuss about how
many siblings do you have?
Yeah, I have 3 siblings right now. Yeah, I have 3 siblings right now.
Girls?
No, I have 1 lady and a girl and a brother.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, if you're a Nigerian, you will agree with me that the pride of every parent is to see their children become either of these 4 professions. First, a medical doctor. Second, an engineer. Third, an accountant. And fourthly, third, a lawyer. And fourthly, an accountant. And every other profession is an addition. So my dad and my mom, they were obviously part of the number. But something about my dad is he's not an imposter. At least I appreciate that from him, because I've heard of many stories of parents enforcing their children to do a certain course. But my dad is more of a proposer.
Diplomat.
Yeah, he's a diplomatic person. Yeah. So I'll use his words, and you would understand me. He comes and discusses with me and tells me that my son, I want you to look at the environment, look at everybody here. There are a lot of people that go to university, and when they finish, they don't have a job. Look at the situation of Nigeria. My son, I don't want you to go and study a course that when you are done, I will start begging for jobs.
That's so true.
So he tells me, my son, I don't want you to study a course that will make me beg for jobs.
That's very logical. Very logical.
Yes. So now I understand that what my daddy is saying is there are 4 jobs. There are 4 jobs
that
guarantees you. My father will say you're a hot cake.
Okay.
You'll be a hot cake.
What job? What are those jobs?
Being a medical doctor, being an engineer, being a lawyer, and being an accountant.
You'll be a hot cake.
You'll be a hot cake when you're done with school. So obviously, my parents are in the science field. So that is an engineer. He's a retired engineer. He worked in PHCN, and my mother also is a nurse. So I had affiliation to science, and so between the four, medicine was the
most attractive.
Was the most attractive to me. So that was how I got myself into the medical field, and I'm presently studying medicine. And right now I'm almost done with my medical pursuits, and I'm in my final year of medicine. So that's how I got into medicine.
But what made you to think though right now, because the title for this message is "I are almost," but you didn't. Thank God, you are back on track.
Yeah.
But how you almost?
I almost missed it. Okay, so the thing is, when we are young, what they ask us is, what do you want to be? And when they ask us, what do you want to be in future, what they're asking us is to give a job description. They never ask us about what are you called to do? What is that?
Your heart saying.
What is your heart saying? And what is that? Have you discovered your passion? Have you discovered your calling? Have you discovered the reason why you're here? So when they ask us, for example, ask any child in primary school, what do you want to be?
So they are actually expecting, people are actually giving the answer about job description instead of purpose.
Pastor, you got it. So they're asking us for job description. So at the end of the day, we live, they design our mindsets in such a way that we are living for a job and not living to fulfill purpose. So
instead of discovering a purpose, people are looking for jobs.
Pastor, you got it right.
You know, I'm writing a book right now that is going to be called "Stop Seeking for Jobs."
Wow.
Maybe I should say never look for a job, or stop seeking for jobs. So stop seeking for jobs. I'm writing that book right now.
Wow.
And that book is going to be released, all over the world, but I'm targeting it for Nigeria. That people should not look for job. And the editor that is helping me, when I told him that the book is "Stop Seeking for Job," the person said, "Okay, if people do not seek for job, what would people do?" Yeah. So I told them that education is not to seek a job, but the way the educational system has been done now is for you to look for a job.
Yes.
But I want to write that book and really tell people that they should stop seeking for a job. You should never even consider seeking for a job.
Yes.
You say, what should people do with their lives?
Yeah.
And that is why you need to read the book.
Yes,
So instead of people to be taught on how to discover purpose, where they are being taught to be able to get a job. And that's what your dad was trying to tell you.
Yes.
You will go to school so that you could get a job.
Get a job. Not just a job, but a good one that I will not beg for. And I will not say, please, my son has finished school, or he has finished his university, or no. My father said no, he doesn't want to beg, but he wants me to go into a job like
So why do you say you almost missed it?
Okay. Wow. Okay, I think I will start this by talking about how I met you, Pastor.
Okay. Or how you heard about
Or how I heard about you. So, I got to Ukraine in the year 2010.
Yeah.
So, there's practically no Nigerian that gets to Ukraine without hearing about Pastor Sunday. At least you must hear about Pastor Sunday. You might not know in details what he's into. You might not know how phenomenal he is. But you just get to hear about Pastor Sunday. So, I heard about Pastor Sunday, and okay, let me first beg, please, viewers, don't judge me. Please don't judge me. Don't throw stones at me, because I'm sure many of you were also in my shoes. Because when I heard of Pastor Sunday, I was like, okay, he's one of those pastors, like generally pastors, that's it.
Especially mega pastors.
Yeah, a mega pastor.
Big cars, big house, big offerings.
Exactly. So I wasn't so much interested in him. I was like, well, he's just one of them, and if I want to listen to his message, I can listen to his message on YouTube or anywhere. But all the while, I follow Miles Monroe. Miles Monroe has played a very huge role in my life and in who I am today. So one morning, I got a call from a friend of mine that also knows about my affiliation with Dr. Miles Monroe. It was very early in the morning. I got this call, and the person told me, "Anu, can you believe?" I said, "What?" It's just morning. He said, Miles Monroe is dead. I was like, Miles Monroe is dead? No, I said it's a lie. I just went on my laptop, Googled it, and to my greatest surprise, my role model and my hero was dead. If I can remember vividly, I don't think I went to school that day. Because I was so down. I was like, Lord. And then what really broke my heart was the kind of death it was. It was a tragic death. So I was so down. So I just was thinking about, Lord, why? So as I was searching for why, I stumbled again on Pastor Sunday Adelaja. So Pastor Sunday was releasing videos, and I don't know if many of you can remember when he was releasing videos about Pastor Miles and trying to explain to people the concept of death and things like that. So Pastor said a lot of things that blew my mind. But because of my nature being a critical thinker, and when I hear something that is against the status quo, I'm interested. Pastor made this statement. Pastor said he prefers to die young than to die old. Trust me. That judgmental spirit came up, and I was like, at this point, Pastor Sunday has missed it. I was like, how would Pastor Sunday say he wants to die young? Come on! I was like, this is what people go to church, they sow seed for long life. People go and pray and fast for 10 days to live long. And yes, Pastor Sunday saying he prefers to die young. I was like, no, I called my friend and I said, come and listen to Pastor Sunday. I think I agree with him with everything. He's a great man, but at this point, he
has missed it.
He has missed it. No, he has missed it. He has missed it. So I was like, no. But because I like bringing things into subjective analysis, I took interest in what you said. So I started following all of your videos. I watched the videos. Then you didn't just stop releasing videos. You started producing articles. So I read the articles. Then while I was following and I got to understand what you were saying, that the main goal for us to be alive is not to just live for any reason, but
to live long.
But our goal is to die empty, to die fulfilled. That is not about the length of days from our perspective, but it's about living to fulfill a purpose. And then I read your book about Dr. Miles Monroe, and I got a full understanding of what you were saying. And it blew my mind because I got to discover that it's true. Jesus Christ lived 33 and a half years, and the impact is still till this day and will forever be. And so I took interest in you. So after a while, I listened to your messages, but I wasn't so much like a follower like that time, until a friend of mine told me about History Makers Training. That Pastor Sunday used to organize History Makers Training. And it was like that it would be very good for me to attend. So I'm like, okay, Pastor Sunday. So I said, okay. If he's not organized, maybe it's just for his name. Maybe some other people will come and facilitate, and he will just be there, and maybe he might not show up or something like that. So I said, let me just give it a try. And just so you know, viewers, this History Makers Training was this January. Wow. This January. So I got into the History Makers Training this January.
And you got to meet Pastor Sunday only this year.
This year.
Even though you've been in Ukraine for 5 years.
For 5 years.
But you never believed you could meet.
No. Let me tell you my story about my first day in that training. You'll be surprised. So when I got in for the training, we got into his house. I said, okay. So I know you are in Pastor Sunday Adelaja's house. I said, okay. So I was waiting to see him. Maybe he will come in with his entourage, or maybe
bodyguards.
He'll come in with bodyguards, so that he will be safe. So during the section that was meant for pastor, I just saw him coming inside. There was no, somebody just walked past. So I'm like, okay. So he got to the front, and I'm like, just like that. That's how Pastor Sunday just came inside. So I was like, okay. So for the first 10 minutes, I was stunned. I was dazed. I was like, okay. So this is Pastor Sunday. And guys, trust me, the way Pastor laughs in this Facebook, that's how he laughs real life. And the thing about it is that you're missing his handshakes, because when Pastor laughs, he would shake you. So
high five.
Not shake, but he's going to give you a high five. So I saw how Pastor was down to earth, how he was humble. I was stunned. I was like, Lord, this is Pastor Sunday. He took everybody as a friend. He was going to laugh with you. He was going to hug you, give you a high five. For like first 15 minutes of my life, of my time there, I was like, okay, this is actually real. I was stunned. This is not what I expected. I expected a Pastor Sunday that will come in and everybody, and like, there will be protocols, maybe with shades, that nobody must trespass and nobody must touch. But Pastor started teaching us about understanding. The focus that HMT was on understanding. He said, get life and get understanding. Trust me. My testimony was, up until that time, I was just existing. Because I got to discover that true living is living, fulfilling your destiny and fulfilling your purpose on a daily basis. Pastor taught us about understanding, and I saw my life right in front of me, and I was like, Anu, you've not been living. You've just been existing. It is time for you to start living. Now, what blew my mind was when Pastor gave an opportunity for us, because Pastor likes, I discovered that from Pastor, that Pastor likes getting feedbacks. He wants to know what is happening with the words he's saying to you. He wants to get a feedback. He wants to get a response. So Pastor was calling people to come out to just give a feedback based on what they've learned, on what has happened based on his teachings. I was scared to come out, because if you know Pastor Sunday, if you know Pastor Sunday,
no detail is missed.
Pastor pays attention to every little detail. I remember that training, Pastor. Somebody came out and somebody said thank you. And Pastor was like, why are you thanking me? What have I done? Why are you saying thank you? I've not done anything to you. The person was even like, he didn't even know that he said thank you.
Yeah, transfers.
Yeah. He said he didn't even know he said thank you. So
he didn't even know he said it.
Yeah, he didn't know. Yeah.
Reflect.
And so I summoned courage. Why? Because my heart.
Summon courage to do what?
To go out.
Okay.
Because my heart was like, I could really.
To go out and give
a feedback.
Okay.
To go back and give a feedback. Because in my heart, I knew what was happening. What was happening. I knew the revelation that I got in my spirit. And I knew the revolution that was happening from my inside. So my goal was just to go out and say, Pastor, thank you for what you have done to me. So I got out. A lot of people spoke before I spoke. So it was my turn. So now I said that I wanted to introduce myself in a different way. Okay? So I said, my name is, do what I said. I said, my name is OJO. The pastor was like, sorry? What did you say? Trust me, the next 10 minutes while I was standing outside there was Pastor teaching me how to correctly say and pronounce my name in a way that I would communicate my name such that the people that listen to me would forever remember my name. Because I was the one that said it.
How to introduce yourself,
How to introduce myself. Because I was the one that said I want to introduce myself differently. And pastor was teaching me because of his attention to details. So I was there, and the pastor said that for me to make that decision, I would be remembered. I said amen. I thought that was the best prayer.
For that decision. What
for
decision?
that decision. For the decision to introduce myself differently.
Okay.
That every other person that spoke did not say that. But for me to say that, it means I will be known. And so I continued giving my feedback. In 5 minutes to 6 minutes or 7 minutes of me talking, everybody was standing. Pastor stood, everybody was standing, and they were giving ovation, clapping, celebrating. And pastor said these words to me that transformed and changed my life. Pastor asked me that what am I doing and where am I, what am I studying or something. And I said, Pastor, I'm studying medicine. Pastor was like, what are you doing in a medical school? How can you be studying medicine? So I was like, okay. Pastor said, you are an enlightener. You are a touch house. You should bring illumination to the minds of people. He told me, look, everybody spoke, but it's only when you spoke that everybody stood up. It means that you should bring illumination to the minds of people. You should bring revelation into people's minds. So he said these words to me. To many people, that was just another time where pastor was being exceptional. But to me, it was a pivotal point in my life. It was a turning point in my life, because pastor, in less than 10 minutes, just told me that this is what you are called to do. Not just to be in the hospital. Not just to be there treating people. But God has given you talent. He has given you the gifts. He has made you. He has perfectly designed you to bring illumination to the minds of people. To bring an enlightener. To bring light to people. Wow. So I told my friend after the training that, you see, I've been dead all this while. And I just discovered that I need to start living. So I told him that I need to subject myself to serious self-education into the area that pastor talked about. And I told him that in 6 months, I want to see what I'll come out with. So from February till July, pastor, I read the most amount of books from February to July than I've ever read all my life. Because just like many medical students or many people, the only thing that we are so focused about is education.
Medicine.
It's just medicine. And so I went and I studied. And pastor, I must say, and I want to thank God for your life, because when you were teaching the Kingdom series, you said something that brought light into my spirit. You said that God did not create any man to just get a job. He said God did not create any man to work for money. He said God created us as an answer to a problem on earth. And so I got to understand that when anyone dies on earth and people cry out to God, for example, in America, due to gun violence, if someone's family member dies due to gun violence and people are crying to God that God, please help us, God, solve gun violence. You said God would not come down to solve it, but God's answer is in a man that he sends. And so he sends a man.
He gives birth to.
That he gives birth to that man with that purpose to come and bring a solution. And so I got an understanding that I am not here by mistake. I am not here just to get a job. I'm not here to just be a medical doctor. I am here as a solution to a problem. I am here as an answer to the cry of generation. And so it dawned on me that my life is more than myself. My life purpose is bigger than me. And I have to discover it and I have to fulfill it. So it blew my mind and I said, yes, thank God. Thank God that my path did not just cross with Pastor Sunday. Thank God because my path was led to him and I learned from him and he revealed to me that, listen, this is what you are called to do. I almost missed it. But thank God. Thank God. Because I would have been trapped sitting down with my stethoscope, with my beautiful white lab coat, and just be giving treatments to people and prescriptions. So, how did I discover it?
Before you go ahead, Anu, before Anu goes ahead, I want to answer the questions that some of you are asking. You are asking if I have training that I do on yearly basis or regular basis. Yes. Our next training is called History Makers Training. History Makers Training is going to be in November. So if you want to come and attend my trainings, it's called History Makers Training. It's a similar training to what Anu is talking about. History Makers Training. The next one is going to be November 6th to 12th. 6th to 12th of November. 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 6th to 12th of November 2016. You could write to guest@godembassy.org. 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 That is where you'll be able to learn more about coming to visit us. Or you could write me directly at pastor@godembassy.org. Pastor@godembassy.org. But, let's keep on listening to how the life of Arno began to change.
Wow. Thank you so much, Pastor. Pastor, I'm so happy that today is a Monday. And the reason is because I came to discover that Monday, to a lot of people, is one of their worst days. And why? Because they are going back to a cage, to a box, to a workplace that they hate. They are going back to the place where they are going back to the place where they know that they are not fulfilled.
Yes.
And so I'm so happy because today is a Monday, and Pastor, just listening to the testimony of Mr. Alexander and his wife yesterday. Lord, a lot of things stood out for me, but one thing that stood out for me was, it is never too late for you. It is never too late. The woman at the age of over 50 went back to do her master's. And she's in her 50s and she's fulfilling her purpose. Come on, viewers, no matter your age, I want you to know that it is never too late for you to discover your calling. And you can start it from today. I want to encourage everybody to please go back to the first message that Pastor started teaching about your calling. And I think the first one, if I can remember, is Who Am I?
Yeah.
Pastor started with Who Am I? And then he went about and talking about your uniqueness, being your area of calling, your background and your experience. I want to encourage everybody, please go back and listen to it. I have listened to it. I'll continually listen to it because I need more clarity. And I also need to amplify in what God has called me to do. But let me continue about how I discovered my own. I learned what health is, the definition of health, Pastor.
Health.
Of health. Now, according to the World Health Organization, health is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being. And it is not just the absence of disease or infirmities. But I got to discover that, Pastor, our focus in medicine, most times, is on the physical part. of mental or physical part of well-being, just to bring treatment to court, surgery, and all of those stuff. But after you say those words to me, that my calling is to bring enlightenment, is to bring light to the minds of people, then the mental part stood out for me. The mental part stood out for me, that because I discovered that I had so much affiliation, I had so much inclination to speaking with people. I had so much affiliation to bringing liberation to the minds of people. I could not just stand someone being ignorant about something. I wanted to just bring illumination to their minds. I wanted to just teach them. So I just wanted to just be with people and converse with them. And so, Pastor, I discovered that my part is not to dissect people, is not to fix people,
to heal the body,
no,
but the mind.
The mind. And
so, as a doctor, you are actually called to doctor not body,
yes,
but to doctor people's mind.
Of the mind. To be a doctor.
To be a physician to the mind.
To the mind. Yes, sir.
Rather than being a physician to the body.
To the body. To the body. And so I got to discover that mental health doesn't just have to do with mental disorders. Because most times when we hear mental health, we think of mental disorders.
Again.
Yes. But I got to discover that mental health has to do with subjective well-being. It had to do with self-efficacy. It had to do with self-autonomy. It had to do with the actualization of one's intellectual and emotional potentials. And so I discovered that was what I had interest in. I wanted to just talk with people and to bring them out of darkness in their mind and in their mental faculty. And so that was how I got a direction, a precise direction to what God has called me to do. And I discovered that my assignment is not to the physical realm, it's not to the physical body, but to the mental part, to people's minds, to bring illumination to people's minds, to bring revolution to people's minds. And like you always say, that we shouldn't just stop at discovering it, that the discovery is just the seed. But you always tell us that the seed on its own will not produce any result. But the seed has to grow into a tree. And when the seed has grown into a tree, then the tree can begin to produce fruits that would be benefits to people around them. So, Pastor, after I discovered this, I started feeding myself with books. I started reading books. I started listening to your messages. I read your books. I started reading diverse. I became a voracious reader. I started reading just to enlarge my mind. And so,
and were you listening to the messages as well?
Pastor, starting from the messages that you taught about the world, how the world system enslaves us, Pastor, that message was mind-blowing. And I encourage everybody listening, please. I'm not trying to advertise Pastor. This is not advertisement. This is real life. I want you to go back to all of Pastor's live videos and start from that message when Pastor was talking about how the world system enslaves us. The sad thing about it is education is part of it. Pastor explained.
It's part of what?
It's part of the world system to enslave us. Pastor taught us that education is designed to train you to work for somebody.
To become a slave to somebody.
To be a slave to somebody.
Or to a job.
Or to work for money. To live, to earn a living. And Pastor is like, no, God did not create you to live, to earn a living. God created you to live and to fulfill His purpose for your life, to fulfill destiny. But education will train you to be a medical doctor so that you can help people in the community, and that's all. So, listening to pastor messages made me understand that life is more than what I have known it to be. Life is more than it, trust me. Trust me, life is more than pastor. Life is more than just going to church on Sunday. Life is more than just you speaking in tongues. Life is more than you just going to give your tithe and offerings. He said life is more than that. Life is more. I discovered that life is more than that. That is more than that. God. I discovered that, Pastor, when you're teaching about kingdom, the kingdom message, I discovered that what we've been hearing in church, and I say this because I also pastor a church, that what we've been teaching people, we've been creating a group of people that are using God, and it's paganism. Pastor defines as paganism. That most times the reason why we go to church is that we go to church to just get a miracle from God. Ask yourself, why do you go to church? Because of blessings. We go to church because we are going for blessings, for miracles. We want financial increase. We want breakthrough in our academics. That's why we go to church. And Pastor revealed to us that the message, the gospel that transforms lives, the gospel that transforms nations is the gospel of the kingdom. And that is the message that Jesus preached. Pastor said something that blew my mind. He said God never said it that we're the light of the church, or we are the light of, or we're the salt of the church. God said we're the light of the world. What that meant to me was that the world is my stage. The church is not my stage. The world is my stage. And so I got a mind shift. I got a mind shift. That no, I am an answer to my world. I'm an answer. So now I've discovered that I'm an answer to the world of mental slavery. I'm an answer to the world of mental darkness. And so, just listening to Pastor, it blew my mind. I must tell you. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. Life changed for me. Life changed for me. It was more than just going to church. It was more than just going to school. It's more than just going to work. It's about living a purpose-driven life. And so I started channeling my energy to that cause. I started studying. I started reading about it. And what transformed my life again was when Pastor was talking about how God's creation is always preceded by purpose. That purpose precedes creation. And that the discovery of purpose is the beginning of true living. And so I started learning. I started reading. Not just my Bible. I was reading my Bible, and I always encourage people, if you read your Bible alone, you will only be influential in church. You have no voice out of the church. Because the only things you can say are scriptures. But I started reading out of the norm. I started reading different books. Started listening to messages that will bring life and light to my spirit. And just this July, this is my testimony. This is my testimony. Just this July, before the end of June, the Spirit of God told me that something was going to happen in my life from July 5th to July 10th. I told my church members that the Spirit of God told me, but I didn't know what it was. He didn't give me in details. He didn't tell me exactly what was going to happen. So I was thinking it was just going to be a financial breakthrough or something marvelous, or just maybe I'll just be in the spirit in the Lord's day and something like that. But it happened to be that time when Pastor also was teaching about the kingdom. And I went for a retreat with my administrative team in my church. And while I slept and I woke up, God gave to me a project that I'm to embark on. And just before that, Pastor was talking about a topic that, I remember the topic exactly because that was where it started. Pastor was talking about what successful people know. Yes, what successful people know. After that message, God. Normally, when I listen to Pastor, I don't always, what I just say is good morning, sir, and I get my notepad and I start writing. A lot of people used to comment there, but I'm not so much interested in the comment, and mine is just keep learning. But that day, I could not withhold it. Because I just had these words in my mind. And these words were 100% mind revolution. 100% mind revolution. That was what I typed. I didn't even type it for Pastor to even read it. I just typed it because this was what I felt. And fortunately for me, Pastor read it. And Pastor, unknowingly, just gave the description of the first book in my life I'm writing. And the pastor said, that is a book right there. That is an amazing book. 100% mind. And Pastor was laughing. I said, Pastor, you're laughing. You don't understand what you just did. You just gave me, And Pastor said, that is a book right there. And so after I went for my retreat, God told me, son, I want you to start an initiative. And the initiative will be called 100% Mind Revolution Initiatives. And he said, what I'm giving you is that I'm telling you that you should go and illuminate the minds of the world. Illuminate the minds of people and bring transformation into their lives. And that was how, just this July, God told me this. And so under that part, God explaining to me different.
Meanwhile, Anu is in medical school.
Yes.
And this is, look what God is asking him to do. This is calling. And meanwhile, he's whining, his time in medical school. Okay, to answer the people who are asking the question, where can you get all these teachings that he's talking about? They are all there on my blog, SundayAdelajablog.com. SundayAdelajablog.com. You see over 500 messages over there. Sunday Adelaja, live broadcast. It could be video or audio, live broadcast or video broadcast or video blog. Or, just go or you could even go to YouTube and Sunday Adelaja Official, my YouTube channel, and get the message. Also, you can listen to them as well over there. So, and then some of you are coming a little bit late. Yeah, I want to remind you that on every day I come on in the morning is 7:30. It's always 7:30 a.m. Nigerian time, 7:30 a.m. British time, and 2:30 a.m. Eastern time in America. And and in the evening, every evening I come as well. And every evening is 7 p.m. That is British time, 7 p.m. Nigerian time, and 2 p.m. American Eastern time. So if you have not shared the link, please go ahead and begin to share this link. We're going to continue listening to Anu right now, but go look for your share button and share the link, everyone. Let's share the link before we progress, okay? Thank you, Anu. Here we are.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, Pastor, while I was thinking of my own life and my own testimony, I had this beating in my mind, and I had this in my mind to address 3 categories of people. The first set of people are the parents. A huge amount of...
So the parents actually contribute largely to people missing their calling in life.
Yes, sir.
The parents, the schools, all those things that are supposed to help people discover their calling and purpose, they are the ones leading them out of the way of their purpose and calling in life.
Sir.
Okay?
So I wanted to use the opportunity to encourage parents not to enforce anything on their children. I want to use the opportunity to encourage parents to spend time in helping to discover the purpose that God has created their children.
But they cannot say now they don't know how to do it because the book is in English.
Yes,
I've
sir.
released the book.
Yes,
Who
sir.
am I?
Yes, sir.
Why am I here? How to
Yes, sir.
discover
Yes, sir.
your purpose and calling.
Yes, sir.
And the teachings
And
here.
the teachings, yes,
and we have the whole series now
Yes,
that
sir.
are here. For a whole week now I've been talking about. Even somebody said each one of them is enough,
Pastor,
to
just
discover.
one. Yes, sir.
And I've given more than 8 already.
Yes, sir.
And so it's no more excuse that I cannot know how to discover. Or what do you think?
Yes, sir. I agree, sir. Just one. Let me prescribe one for you, just in case you're doubting. Pastor said, and this one stood out for me because I was called names.
Sorry, please.
Yeah.
Akinde Victor is saying guest at godembassy.com is not going through. That is not what I said. You need to learn to listen very well, Akinde. Listen to details. I said guest at God Embassy. If you know my website, it's not God's without S, not God's Embassy. It's God Embassy, one word. God Embassy, one word. Not com, .org. That's why I'm not getting your letters. And you people will be accusing me that I'm not replying your letters because you don't send it to the right place.
Yeah,
so guest at God
Embassy.
Embassy, one word, godembassy.org. Then if you want to go to my blog, that is not for letter, that is a website. It's sundayadelajablog.com. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No problem, sir. So, Pastor, as a medical doctor, I want to prescribe one for the viewers because this relates so much to me. And when you're talking to them,
One what?
Yeah, I want to prescribe one of the videos that would helping them in discovering their calling.
Okay.
And Pastor, you were talking about how we could discover our calling by what people and by the names or the things that people victimize us with. It resounded in me because
What day was that? You can't remember.
I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
But you're talking about it. Yeah, I think maybe Saturday.
No, what was the name? You remember the name?
Yeah, I think you're talking about uniqueness.
Okay, your uniqueness, yeah. Your difference and
your difference and your uniqueness, yes.
Yeah.
So for me, mine was like this. When I was in secondary school, now if you're from the West in Nigeria, you understand this word. My colleagues, they always used to call me Bebeto, or another synonym is Oya. Puma, meaning what it means is somebody that is too forward. You are too forward. And how was I too forward? Let me just tell you my story.
So they were trying to humiliate you.
Yeah, to victimize me, to make me feel like what I'm doing is bad. What was I doing? The teacher came into the class and asked who wanted to be the class rep. Who wants to be the class monitor? Nobody raised up their hands. Only OJO decided to be responsible. And everybody came and they were like, Bebeto, oh yeah, why are you too forward? What is wrong with you? Everybody did not, why didn't you allow her to choose? And fast forward time, I got to discover that they were calling me Oya because I'm a leader. Because to be forward, a leader is always ahead. A leader is always forward. A leader is always taking responsibilities. So what they were calling me Bebeto, they were calling me Oya. But just getting to understand based on what Pastor was teaching about your uniqueness, about what people criticize you with, I discovered that yes, I'm a leader. So call me Bebeto all your life. What you're just saying is you're telling me that I am a leader. And the same thing goes to everybody listening to us right now. What are those names that people call you? Yours might be Oversabi.
What is that?
Oversabi means you like doing everything. You do too much. See,
oh, okay. That means you are too meticulous.
if they call you Oversabi,
Or diligent.
yeah, you're too diligent, exactly. If they call you Oversabi, what that means is that you are diligent. And that you can make so much progress and you can make so much success compared to any other person. So if they call you Oversabi, tell them thank you. Go and write it down. Oversabi means diligence. that means I'm a diligent person. That means I will make more success. I will make more progress than these people that are calling me over Sabi. They are telling you you're calling. So I said I want to address three people, Pastor. So I've already addressed the parents. The next people I want to address is students and people like me that are in university. I want to encourage you to apply these two principles that I learned. The first is, don't be boxed by education. Don't be boxed and don't be enslaved by just reading only what is in your field. Explore. If you have get a big post in your room, write it down. Explore, because that was what I used. I explored.
You are trying to say don't be caged into your educational curriculum.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so don't be limited by your subject and field of studies.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, don't be limited. Don't be limited. I have many friends. My friend Bamishaye Victor, my very good friend, is in medical school with me. But that guy is a president. That guy is a politician. I have many
studying.
And he's a medical student with me. I have many friends too that are comedians.
At the medical school.
You guys know Chris Clown, right?
Chris what?
Chris Clown. Chris Clown is a comedian in Harkov right now. Just in case,
Nigerian?
He's a Nigerian. Okay. Just in case you don't know, he's a medical student. You would ask me, what is he doing in medical school? The guy is making it right now in the world of comedy. So don't be limited by your curriculum. Trust me. Just go out and try it. Try different things. It will surprise you that by you trying, you will discover what God has called you to do. And also, accept responsibilities. I discovered that, Pastor, we have a generation of youth that don't want to be responsible. We want to run away from responsibilities. We want to deflect responsibilities. But trust me, if you accept responsibilities, responsibility is coming from two words: response and ability. When you are responsible, you are responding to your ability. You might never discover your ability if you're not responsible. So be responsible, and by doing that, you get to discover what you have inside. So students, I'm a student too. I'm not yet done. I want to encourage you to please be responsible. Don't run away from responsibilities. It will help you discover your calling. How did I discover mine? I chose to be responsible. When they ask who wants to take a task, I go. Who wants to talk, I talk. Who wants to give a speech, I give a speech. Whatever, I was just responsible. And now I'm talking to you by being responsible. And Pastor, the last set of people I want to talk to is to the people that are not in school now, but the people that are working. I mean, those who are in the workforce right now. And my advice to them, based on what I've learned from you, is that please don't work for money. Because Pastor said, if you work for money, you'll be a slave to money. And God did not create us to be slaves to money. So if you're working, Pastor said, your work should be a platform. It should be an avenue where you fulfill purpose. And it's not too late for you to fulfill your purpose. So if you're working, whatever place you're working, I want you to know that it is not too late for you to start fulfilling your purpose, even in that place. And if it will cause you to have to leave that place and then to refine yourself and to discover yourself and start fulfilling purpose, trust me, it is better for you to do that. And I've discovered people, let me just share this testimony with you. One of the things I discovered with Pastor is that it's not only Pastor that makes a difference here. If you come to Pastor's house, you almost feel intimidated, trust me. Because everybody here, you almost feel everybody is fulfilling destiny, not in
some small little corner.
You're hearing of thousands, millions. The thing that I admire about Pastor, and Pastor, I want to say this to you, is that you are a leader that reproduces himself in the lives of people. And I've heard testimonies of people that I've met you. I was telling my colleagues here that I don't think there's anybody that will meet pastor, and his life will not be changed. Everybody that has met Pastor Sunday has a testimony. And I'm not saying testimony that we come to give in our churches on Sundays. Testimonies that God me pass my exam with 50 over 80. That's not testimony. Pastor, that's not testimony. Testimony is not that I was working and I slept and I woke up and thank God for giving me. No, that's not testimony. Testimonies of real impact. Testimonies of you affecting the world, being an answer to the world. And Pastor, lastly, I want to say a big thank you. Thank you for the opportunity you have given to me. Thank you for opening yourself up to me. With these few days I've spent with you, I've discovered that there is no holding back. That there is no cage for me. As a matter of fact, there is no limitation for me. I have the whole world to go. Like the whole world has been created for me to go out. Like there's no holding back for me. I've discovered that what you did, I can even do more. How old am I? Young boy. I have enough years to fulfill destiny. And that if you can do it, Pastor, if you can do it, and if other people that have come to meet you are doing it, I know, Joe, you can, and you can even do much more. And this is what I've received from you. And I want to thank you, Pastor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you richly. God bless you richly, sir. Thank you, sir.
Wow. You have blown us up again. You have just expanded our horizon. And you have just stretched us. And you have brought us the world of possibilities.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure that everybody that is watching this agree that you have brought us to a world of possibilities. Well, this is just the first time you are meeting me, right? Second time.
Second time.
This is only the second time he's meeting me. So the fact that he's living in Ukraine doesn't mean that he's living in my house or he's seeing me every time. No, it's just the second time he's coming here. Second time he's seeing me. But because he's seeing me every day.
Yes.
He's following me every day. He's reading my books every day and also watching the video and following the program every day. So it's about change. It's about what Success spoke about yesterday. It's about renewing your mind. It's about re-engineering yourself through the truth that you're hearing here. Right. So if you will go and find an opportunity or a place to isolate yourself and rebuild yourself, you can actually construct your life. Rebuild yourself, re-engineer your mind, re-engineer your destiny just through these messages. So everything is done. It's not because he's living here or he's being trained by me like the Russians that I have to train. But this is also the same training I'm giving you here every day. Go take those teachings and go and begin to apply them. These are the same training. Somebody is asking me, why don't I make HMT online? This is HMT online you are getting. You are already having the materials. Yes. Go take them, discipline yourself, lock yourself up once in a while, once in a month or something, lock yourself up and just begin to dwell in those messages and renew your mind through them. It is the word that makes you who you are. As you think, if you could think properly, you become aware of anything you want. As you think, so you are. As a man thinks in his mind, so he is. So you will become whatever you program yourself to become. So you need just to reprogram your mind, and there are no greater tools than these messages that are coming from here. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Thank you.
I know Oluwapo
OJO.
I know Oluwapo OJO. You've been great.
Thank you so much.
And I don't doubt it that you got the anointing, you got the grace, we are walking right into your destiny.
Thank you, sir.
You see, this message is called How I Almost Missed My Calling. He almost missed his calling because he was sent to a medical school. and he would have been doing medicine wearing the white garment and testosterone, whatever. And be, doing the wrong thing. Where he's supposed to be a speaker and an illuminator. But thank God we came across this message. He came across Pastor Sunday and one meeting, just one time, one meeting. was enough for him to. Thank God he decided to come forward that day to give this to talk, so I could address him in particular. And well, I've been addressing all of you for 3 months now. So go sit down with these messages and get serious about them. Go work on yourself. The only difference is that if he's going to, if you are going to be here for HMT, you are staying here confined, by us. We build the environment for you. We confine you here and we make you to study. But you can do that by yourself. Take all the messages, the direction that if it is financial breakthrough you need, take all the series on finances and go and, renew your mind and begin to practice them. If it's about calling, you want to discover yourself, take all the series about calling. If it's about the kingdom, you want to discover what the kingdom is about, take all the series about the kingdom and go and renew yourself. If it's about prayers, take all the series about prayers and go and renew yourself. So that is why I'm taking all these things series by series. It's about exploring in the world and becoming the best in the world. Take the one about the loss of the life is predictable. And then if you cannot love people, if you have problem with your relationships, take the one about love. Loving God is, loving people. So, take all the series. I have all these things, all these my messages in packages, in series. Take the one that applies to you, that, that applies to where you want to be or where you want to go. And by the time you finish listening to them over and over again, you'll be a new man. You'll be a different person. So please, let's go ahead and share the link right now. Go ahead and share the link. And as you are sharing the link, I'm going to read some of the comments that you all are writing. So also go ahead and write your comments. Let's see what you got from this teaching. Please, will you go and write your comments? Let's hear what you are thinking about the testimony of Anu today. Okay, Perez Marie say, I came in late. Where can I find the financial series? Well, all these teachings are on my blog, SundayAdelajablog.com. SundayAdelajablog.com. You could go to the video blog and you'll see all the teachings there. Or you could go to you could go to live broadcast and listen to all of them there. Or you could go to my YouTube page, Sunday Adelaja Official is called, and you'll be able to see all the recordings there. So all these things are available out there. You just need to show some enthusiasm. And so, yeah. Shidi Obinello said, a success without a successor is a failure. Pastor Sunday is reproducing himself in us, and this is real success. Yes. How do I share the link? When you go back to your timeline and press the share, you will see the share button just under the video on your timeline. You will see the share button. Just press it. That's how you share it to your own page, and then from there, other people could share it from you as well. That is Olu Elijah who said that. Daini Peter said, please, how and where can we get the messages series? Like I just answered that question. Kate said, what is the cost for this November training? I don't know. You need to write a guest at God Embassy, one word, godembassy.org. They will explain everything to you. I just don't have an idea. It's the administration that does that. Okay. Lola Shorunke said, thank you, Pastor Anu. You have helped us to see the process of renewing the mind while we were listening to you. Blessings, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank God for Pastor.
Yeah, thank you for speaking to us. Layo Charles Emmanuel said, Pastor Anu has spoken the shirt this morning. Wow. It's all I can say there. You reminded me of certain life principles this morning that are necessary for success in life. And Pastor Sunday, what shall we say? We'll tell you via Skype, Pastor. Eshe, sir. Thank you, Pastor Lolayo. Susan said, Dr. Sunday, what of someone who feels they have lost their calling? What happens? You cannot lose your calling, because the Bible says that the gifts and callings of God are without repentance. You just need to get yourself back to where you had fallen and, go back and believe again. You believe again. God has never given up on you. Maybe you have given up on yourself, but not God. So go back to the place where you fell and keep on going. Nikki Christian say, I know, wow. Wow, one of the sons of Pastor Sunday. You are really a son to
Yes.
God has raised. I celebrate you, she says.
Thank you.
Prince Paul says, I too am about to make history. Good.
Right.
Yetunde said, this is History Makers Online. That's so true. She, Sandra, said, I'm so moved and inspired by your testimony, bro. I know. I pray to sit one day and share my testimony on this platform too. Pastor Sunday is a destiny helper. Yeah, I'm waiting for all of you. Come and see me.
That's right.
Nigeria Arise says, if we do not discover and work in our purpose, we cannot be fulfilled, right? Peter says, where can we get a hardcover of your books in the USA? Okay, yeah, you can get them on Amazon. Just order for my books on Amazon. You can order Who Am I? Why Am I Here? You know, that's one of the books that's talking about this topic. You order for it on Amazon and you get a hardcover. You can order any of my books there. Just go to Amazon and ask Sunday Adelaja. Or if you're in Africa, go to Okada Books and online, and you'll be able to get the hardcovers of these books. And also, Tiger Diepre said, thank you, Pastor. I feel what Ano is saying, and I want to openly say, thank you, Pastor. Indeed, you are God sent to our generation. Thank you, thank you. Flair Karim Matip said, brother, Flair, why so short this time? Normally you write longer. I got used to your long writing, but this one is so short comment you have, Flair. Brother, I think you have to also exploit the area of comedy or theater. I keep on laughing as I was listening to you. Because a speaker actually is a comedian as well. Ugo Emeka Ebigbo said, read. Don't be limited by academic curriculum. Accept responsibility. Don't shy away from the stage. Don't work for money so as not to be a slave to money. It's not too late to start. Everyone can purposefully fulfill destiny. Thank you, Pastor Arno. Thank you, Pastor Sunday. Emmanuel Oluwagbemiga said, this is a wonderful testimony. Oluwatoyin said, Anu Ojo, that was awesome. Very awesome. I celebrate you.
Thank you.
Samuel Kalu said, when God said we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, it meant that everything is possible to any man or woman who believes in themselves, that what God has said is real and tangible. Nkem Dike said, I joined you also, Anu, to say thank you to Pastor Sunday for being a word changer. Thank you, Nkem. Basil Elibo said, well said, bro. Honor to you, Pastor Sunday. I have also learned a lot from you. God's mercies to your family, sir. Thank you. Comfy here said, thank you for what you are doing for people. Thank you too. Kazim says, the world is changing for the manifestation. That means the world is waiting for the manifestation of sons of God. Yes. Femi Oshunjaye said, David, Joseph started living early, both at age 17, even Jesus at age 12. I know you are blessed to have this understanding while still in school. The Lord is with you. God is really using Pastor Sunday to enlighten our minds. Femi Ige said, your platform should be an avenue to fulfill purpose, not to make money. Wow. That is what is happening at churches in Nigeria now. God will help us. Phyllis Meek say, oh, this young man is such a blessing and encouragement. As a mother, praise God for you. Niyi Olushola said, in Nigeria, and maybe in most developing countries, we go to school to come out of poverty rather than to fulfill purpose. That is what informs the profession many choose. Eventually, after spending many years training in the wrong profession, we abandoned it to do something else. Rather than train to be a teacher, I read electrical engineering because teaching was not creative or recognized. Not now, I'm trying to get into teaching after 25 years after I left university. So sad, but rather late than never. And the next one, Emmy Bobby said, thank you very much, brother. God bless you. Flair said, I like the word explore that you use. Nikki said, people have been programmed in their minds from the beginning. It's time to start deprogramming people from the slavery mindset. That's so true. Shegun Lawal said, my brother, you are doing a very great and wonderful job by reminding us all about those mind-blowing messages of Pastor Sunday that he has preached here. It is a great blessing to be part of this great platform to bring God's kingdom to the world. The world must be changed by His grace upon our life. This fire will spark across the globe. Pastor Sunday, the result that will come out of what you are teaching will amaze you because you are raising many sons unto glory.
Yes.
Glory to God. Another key Pastor Sunday gave us is listening effectively from Timothy Jayola. Ola Martin said, thank you, Pastor Anu, for the testimony. I give God thanks for Pastor Sunday for allowing God to use you to transform lives and to direct us to the right path. Eric Lindu said, thank you, bro Anu, for your testimony. Go ahead, brother. The revolution is already going on. The revolution has begun. Femi Ige said, I have similar testimony. I thought I would become a banker, counting money until I found the truth about that I'm supposed to be an illuminator, counting men for God instead of counting money. And not counting money for men. Counting men for God instead of counting money for men. Brother, I know we thank God for your life.
God.
Yetunde says, thank you for this beautiful testimony. I know every word that you've uttered this morning has been so powerful and so penetrative. Wow. You are a masterpiece on your own.
Thank God.
Basil says, this is not about performing miracles, but about leading your soul to the right path eternally. God is great. Ugo Emeka Ebigbo said, the God's purpose for creating me is to make a global kingdom solution provider. No more small thinking, no more fooling around. Thank God. Modupe said, my life will never remain the same. Nosa said, it's paganism. He said, how we have been doing church is paganism.